Alrighty. My name is Vanessa Cardenas. I am a betrayal recovery specialist. So a little bit of my story, just so that you know where I'm coming from, who I am, why I do what I do. The reason I do what I do is I am a very firm believer that self-love and self-trust can be rekindled after experiencing betrayal. Absolutely. I absolutely think that there is opportunity within yourself to love yourself again, to trust yourself again, especially after going through betrayal. And I went through betrayal. I never, ever thought that I would experience what I experienced. I never thought that my husband would say 3 words to me that would completely shatter me. I've met someone, and my whole world completely fell apart. The betrayal was just horrific and horrendous. We've all experienced it in one form or another, and it has just been as if somebody reached through our chest and ripped out our heart and just left us there. It is an extremely overwhelming experience. You have emotions that race through you at any given moment in time. You can go from raging one moment to hysterical crying the next, to being completely numb and not feeling anything. And they can come very quickly, and they can knock you on your tuchus. They can absolutely knock you on your ass. And as you go through the painful process of discovery, your discovery day will be ingrained in you like no other day. Then you have all the trickle truths starting to come out, where you're learning a little here, you're learning a little there. And then there comes a point, and the point can be a couple of weeks, a couple of months. It could be a couple of years, where you finally get to a point where you realize that though the betrayal was done to you, it wasn't about you. It wasn't about you. It was about your partner. They did this, not you. There was nothing that you could have done, said, been, given, anything. And we tear ourselves apart. We rip ourselves to shreds. I'm not enough. What could I have done more? Could I have not nagged so much? Could I have been more sexy? Could I have done this? Could I have done that? We go on this merry-go-round of what ifs that just make us seasick, only to realize at any given moment, again, it's not about you. And that's a really hard truth to wrap your head around, especially in the early days of discovery. So I'm here in front of you as a betrayal recovery specialist. I have a massive amount of training within this particular realm. I handle things related to betrayal, whether that is intimate partner betrayal, self-betrayal, which is self-sabotage because we start to destroy ourselves, or in business relationships, a work colleague steals your idea, a partner that you've developed a business with suddenly runs off with your intellectual property. Whatever type of betrayal is in what manner, shape, or form. For tonight, we are going to stick more with intimate partner betrayal. And the reason being is that we are approaching a holiday. We are approaching Thanksgiving. For some, it might be the very first holiday that we are experiencing after betrayal, because now we have our lives are before betrayal and after betrayal. So we might be experiencing the first holiday after betrayal. We might be experiencing the 6th, 10th holiday after betrayal, and still it stings, it still hurts, especially this holiday because it is Thanksgiving, the holiday of gratitude. Wait a second, I'm supposed to be grateful? Really? I will tell you this. I am many years removed from my betrayal. I am grateful for the betrayal. And I know that's really hard to hear. It absolutely is. But I am. Why? Because it was the shove that I needed to step into myself. I was everything to everyone else. I was the wife. I was the mother. I was the C-suite executive. I was everything to everyone else. I lost myself somewhere along the way. And it was the betrayal where I was laying on my bedroom floor in tears, sobbing, ugly crying, trying to figure out what I did to deserve this. And when I had that moment of reprieve, when I promised God, source, spirit, that if I could be relieved of all of this pain that I was suffering through, I promised that I would help someone else, that I would absolutely help someone else. And the next day I woke up and I felt just a little better, but I felt better. And then the next day, a little better. And the day after that, better. Then I got the nudge. You promised that you would help someone else. And that's when I dove into recovery from betrayal. I am now years removed from it. The trajectory of my life completely changed. Never mind the fact that I have completely changed. I am completely different. Anybody I bump into who hasn't seen me in a decade cannot believe who I am. I stand in confidence. I stand upright. I am seen. I am heard. I am valued. I have a great deal of confidence. I walk into boardrooms with pink in my hair, pink in my hair. Yep, pink in my hair. I see the reverse. Pink in my hair. Really? A C-suite executive and you got pink in your hair? Yeah. I shaved off the sides. Yeah, this is me. I wear Doc Marten boots into meetings. Yeah, this is me. I stand firm in my conviction. I stand firm in my boundaries. And boundaries are really important when you're going through the betrayal process. And we can definitely touch on boundaries because those are important to have, not for what your partner does, but what you will do if your partner crosses your boundaries. That's what boundaries are for. It's not to control their behavior. It's to identify what you will do if they cross your boundaries. A very distinct distinction that I want you to keep in mind. That's a little bit about me, my philosophy, how I handle things. I am very much a one issue at a time coach. What does that mean? That means that we tend to focus on one thing at a time that usually my clients bring to me. If this week they're dealing with triggers, we deal with triggers. If 1 week they're dealing with boundaries, we deal with boundaries. So it's usually a one situation type of thing. Again, for this evening, we're going to be talking about how to handle Thanksgiving, the holiday itself. I do want to take a step back. I do want to go over a couple of ground rules so that everybody knows what to expect. You do not need to be on screen, as you can see. You do not need to talk if you don't want to. You're more than welcome to use the chat if you'd like. If somebody decides that they'd like to participate and want to engage with me, ask a question, go back and forth, you are more than welcome to do. Not a problem at all. I ask the others, if somebody is sharing themselves and being vulnerable, please, if it touches you in a way, give them some love. There is a reaction button down at the bottom of your screen where you can select a heart emoji. Just let them know that you feel them, okay? Especially if you're off screen, they can't see you and they're being vulnerable. Give them some love. Give them some encouragement. We're all here to encourage each other. How I express my love and admiration for all of you going through is right here. It's my heart because I feel it. I know what it feels like to go through betrayal. I absolutely unequivocally do. And that's what makes me really good at what I do, because I've gone through the experience, as opposed to being somebody who reads it in a textbook and tries to go through a formula of here's how we're going to help fix you. You do not need to be fixed. I want to make that completely clear. You don't need to be fixed. There's nothing wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with you. You did not do this. This is your partner's fault. Their actions caused this. And even though it was done to you, it was not about you. So a couple of other rules. There's absolutely no hate speech. There's no writing in the chat or getting on audio and saying, leave them. Every single relationship is completely different. And what is beautiful about recovery is that you are in control and you make the choice whether to stay in your relationship or go. So no one else can tell you either way. I can't tell you. I wouldn't tell you. I would advise you to make a choice. But the choice is yours to make. It's not my choice and it's not anyone else's. You can get some guidance from everyone else, what they have done, but that does not dictate what you do in your own relationship. It has to feel good here and it has to connect here. Absolutely own your role in this group that you are a participant of. There is no one size fits all. Somebody might ask a question. I usually give answers related to it. Sometimes I make suggestions. They might not resonate with you, and that's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. There might be a golden nugget throughout that you're like, wow, I like that idea. And there might be something that you're like, oh, ugh, that doesn't feel right at all. Absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. The other thing is that if you decide to engage with me, I might challenge you. I don't want you to take offense to that. I will ask you, and usually I ask, can I pull on that thread a little bit? Can we talk about that? And that's your opportunity to tell me, you know what? No, I don't want to talk about that. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. But I will tell you this, usually the thing you don't want to talk about is the thing that needs to be talked about. And keep in mind, I am not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to tell you my clinical opinion, my personal opinion of the situation. Sometimes it's a hard truth. I am not your friend. I am not your family. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I will tell you what it is so that you're aware of that. I'm here to help educate. I'm not here to fix you because I don't believe there's anything wrong with you. I don't believe that there's anything wrong with anybody who has been betrayed. It is not your fault. It is absolutely unequivocally not your fault. And that's it related to that. So I want you to sit back. I want you to learn and just soak it in, take it in. However I can be of assistance, please reach out and let me know. And that includes not only in this forum, but there is the Meetup chat room that you're more than welcome to reach out to me on, as well as through my website, of course. Absolutely. I am a little different from a lot of other people, in case you haven't recognized that yet. I am not a therapist. I'm a coach. What is the difference? I get asked that quite often. Coaching, from my perspective, deals with a personal experience to coach someone else through the process. I am focused on the here and now. We touch on the past because we absolutely have to touch on the past, but we don't get buried back there. We don't sit back there. We don't drown back there. Here and now. This is what we talk about. What can we do here and now to feel better, to be able to process what has happened so that we can move forward, so that we can live our life by our own design, not by what society tells us we need to do, or what our friends or our family tell us to do, or our partner tells us to do. Okay, so the here and now. I have more flexibility. It drove me crazy when I was going through my recovery because I had therapists, I had coaches, I had marriage counselors, you name it, we've had it. And what bothered me the most about therapists was I'd be in tears. We'd be getting somewhere and I'd be yelling at him and this and that. And my therapist would go, time's up. I'll see you next week. And I was beside myself. I'm like, what? I'm right here. I'm in this feeling and you're cutting me loose. I so didn't like that. And I vowed that when I started working with people, that I wasn't going to be like that. I was not going to be time-based. I respect people's time, but if you're going through something heavy, yes, then we need to continue to talk, to allow the emotion to move through you. That's the most important thing, to move through you. So I'm not time-based. That means we don't have to chat for a whole duration of time. If we get to a point where you're feeling better, whether that's 15 minutes, whether that's a half hour, 45 minutes, 58 minutes, whatever it is, I'm not time-based. And that's the difference between a coach and a therapist, at least in my opinion. So I am also, as I mentioned, a one and done type of person. We focus on one thing at a time. Sometimes they blend together. Yes, I get that. But for the most part, we stick with one topic because in order to feel better, you need to understand something and go through it and allow your body to settle into that moment in time rather than, okay, we've done that, move on to the next thing. We need to slow it down. We need to give our body a chance to recover. The other thing is that the difference between coaching and therapy is therapy diagnoses for mental illness. I do not do that. Not at all. So if you have severe anxiety, severe depression, severe PTSD, and when I say severe, I mean debilitating, you cannot go to work. You cannot function. You are not taking care of your children. You are not taking care of yourself. You haven't showered in a week. That type of severity, I'm not the right person for you because I am a coach, not a therapist. Now, can you have both? Absolutely. Of course you can. You should have a circle of support around you, whomever that might be. But you need to have a circle of support, that trusted persons that you can talk to and allow those feelings to move through you rather than it getting trapped in your body and having your body become the coffin by which all those feelings are stored. Now, we want them to move through you. So you want a support circle around you, whether that's a religious figure, a rabbi, a priest, clergy of any kind, a trusted friend that you can speak to, a trusted family member. And I use a little bit of caution between friends and family. You want someone in your circle that doesn't judge, that doesn't tell you what to do and why you should do it and put all that judgment on you. That's not what you need. You need reassurance. You need validation. You need somebody to be there that just says, for lack of better word, I've got you. I've got you. I'm here. I say that all the time to my clients so that they know they are not alone. You are not alone. You are a member of this group, which I appreciate very much. And unfortunately, you're part of a club that you did not sign up for. You absolutely did not. And the membership card is just to be here, to be present, and to work your way through so that you can heal. And you absolutely will. You absolutely will heal from this if you go through the process and you don't allow yourself to get all those emotions stored in your body and you don't bury your head in the sand. It's not going to work. Just because you put on earmuffs, cover your eyes, cover your mouth, don't say anything, because if you say something, it's going to kick it all up again. It's not see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. Not at all. This is a safe space for you to be able to share whatever it is that you need to share. So with that being said, I want to talk about the holiday coming up, which is, of course, Thanksgiving, which is giving, giving thanks, giving gratitude. Yeah, that can feel really hard, especially if it's your first one. If you don't mind, can everybody just jot in the chat, whether it's your first one, second one, third one, just so that I have an idea, so that I can stay focused on what is most beneficial to everybody here. Yeah, I feel you. I definitely feel you. The first ones are tough. The first 2 to 3 are the toughest of all. Why? Because we have, again, before betrayal and after betrayal. So before betrayal, we had wonderful memories and histories and rituals around the holiday, whatever those might be. And now they feel, they don't feel quite real. They feel tarnished in a way. And that's really hard. That's really hard, because you're thinking of family members, you're thinking of friends. Maybe this holiday, you're surrounded by friends and family that don't know what's going on. That's a possibility. And you have to pretend to be all happy and joyful and grateful and blah, blah, blah. And it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right to you. Is anybody experiencing that specifically, where you're going to have a house full of people, or you're going to a house full of people and they don't know? Okay. Yep. Canada celebrated it at a different time. Yes. Was it challenging for you? You can feel free to speak if you're comfortable with it, just your audio. Yeah, it definitely feels different. So as we move into another holiday, rather than just saying that it's Thanksgiving, because we are coming across Christmas and New Year's Day, and eventually we're going to get to the most dreaded holiday of all. Absolutely, Valentine's Day. Oh, Valentine's Day is the hardest one of all, other than D-Day, the anniversary. Yeah, that's a tough one too. And of course, our regular anniversary as well. Yeah, suddenly the importance of these monumental days becomes very tarnished. So we really need to think about, what can we do? How can we reframe the holiday so that it's not filled with so much dread, that we don't wake up that morning going, oh, really? Here we go. And then you're surrounded by people, again, as I said, that either know or don't know. So if they know, they're either smothering you with unsolicited advice, or they're staying away from you because they're afraid that whatever happened to you is going to latch on to them, and then they're going to have it, as if it's contagious. So it becomes extremely challenging. So some of the suggestions that I have done myself, as well as those that my clients have mentioned that they do, I want to share with you. Some might resonate with you. Some might be like, yeah, I really like that. And others are like, oh, no way, not going to do that. And again, you are completely unique, and your relationship is completely unique. And where you are in your recovery, regardless of whether you decide to stay in your relationship, or you decide to leave your relationship, or you have already left your relationship. So there's a lot of different nuances. So here are a few suggestions, and then I'd like to open it up either verbally or through the chat if something has in fact actually worked for you that you would like to share with others, so that they gain the benefit of hearing a lot of different suggestions. So the first thing related to the holiday itself is maybe take a vacation from it. Tone down the importance of the holiday itself. if you can. If it's a family thing and you know that your partner is going to be there, it might be a situation where you decide to remove yourself from the situation. You know what? As much as I have enjoyed Thanksgiving at your parents' year after year, this year, I'm not feeling it, so I won't be going. The beauty is you have the choice. You really do. You do need to use your words. You do need to express yourself. You do need to say, I'm not feeling it. I don't feel like going. I want to do something else. Whether that's something you want to do by yourself, which is absolutely fine, or something that you'd like to do with others, that could work as well. So you want to think about what it is you want to do. You want to plan for it. Do not leave it to chance. Do not leave it, I'll decide what I do on Thursday morning or on Christmas Day or on New Year's Day or New Year's Eve or Valentine's Day. Whatever holiday it is, do not wait until the day of to try to figure out what you are going to do. Plan what you're going to do. Why? So you can look forward to it. I'm going to go do this. And savor it, enjoy it, do it for yourself, whether that's a day of self-care and whatever your self-care is. I have a word of caution related to self-care. I know that a lot of gurus talk about self-care and how wonderful it is, and it's great, and do this and do that, and you will feel better, and blah, 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 and everything else. And in some respects, they're almost shaming people into self-care. Oh, get a massage. You'll feel so much better. Maybe you don't like to be touched. So yeah, no, that's not going to feel good. No, not at all, kind of thing. But then oh no, you need to do that. And suddenly you're shamed for it. No, that's not the purpose of self-care. And self-care is what you like to do, not what somebody else does and enjoys. It's what you do and enjoy. And if you're adventurous and you like to try new things, by all means do. But if not, then don't do something that doesn't feel right to you because someone else says, oh, you need to do this. Don't be shamed into it. There's already enough shame that you are taking on from your partner. Yes, you are probably, most people do. If you don't, great. But most people take on the shame and guilt of their cheating partner. It happens. It does. I'm not saying it's right because it's not. You didn't do this. You did not do this. Your partner did. Their actions. Though betrayal was done to you, it wasn't about you. It wasn't about you, and you are not responsible for taking that all on. So don't take on the shame. Don't take on the guilt. If you enjoy self-care in whatever form, please do, but do not be shamed into it whatsoever. You might enjoy sitting with a good book. Now, a word of caution about books. You can get lost in betrayal books. Yes, I have my own book too, without a doubt. But if you want to read something that is not betrayal, like in depth about betrayal and the mind and the body and the spirit and everything else, and just getting lost in a betrayal book, a betrayal recovery book, a wonderful book to read is called The Gift. The Gift. It's by Edith Edgar, Egger, and it's 12 lessons about life. It's extremely helpful. It was the book that I read. Granted, I had a stack of betrayal books on my nightstand that I attempted to read every single night and just got frustrated with, and just, it was too technical, it was too religious, it was just too much. And I needed something to read, but that would move away from the betrayal. I could apply the betrayal to it, but it wasn't written about betrayal. That is a really helpful book. It's a book that you can get lost in. My own book that I wrote, why did I write it? It was not an academic or a commercial thing for me. I didn't write it to become a best-selling author. I wrote my book for me, actually. I wrote the book that I needed when I went through betrayal. Why? Because I could not read more than 3 or 4 pages at a time of anything. My brain was just Swiss cheese. I was in such a state of fog that I could not focus for more than 4 pages. And if I didn't finish a chapter and I went to bed, I felt like a failure. I cannot get through a chapter. Why can I not get through a chapter? I should be able to get through a chapter. Suddenly I was shaming myself because I couldn't get through a chapter of a betrayal recovery book. So when I decided to write a book, I wanted to make sure they were short chapters. I also wanted them to end on a positive note with something inspiring, because that's what we need. We're so beaten down by ourselves. We have what I refer to as the nasty chick voice on our shoulder, and she beats us down relentlessly. You know, sometimes we just need a reprieve from it. We need somebody to say a kind word to us, somebody to hold the door open for us, somebody to smile at us, somebody to see us, to hear us, to acknowledge us. Because right in the depths of betrayal, we feel invisible. We feel like we are not even there. So back to the holiday. So I want you to have an intention for the day. It's an important day, and you want to have an intention for the day, whether to even make the day not important. You know what? I'm going to treat this like any other day. And that's absolutely fine as well. You're more than welcome to do that, because it's your day. It's your choice of what you want to do. But I want you to set the intention for the day. Anybody resonate with that? Anybody feel that they could do that? That would be helpful? Okay, I'm going to move on to the next suggestion. Oh, good. Thank you. I appreciate the feedback. Alrighty. So the second thing to do is third thing, because we talked about self-care and we also talked about setting the intention for the day. You can also take a vacation from the day, meaning that if you are going to be with your partner on that day, or you're going to be surrounded by people that know about what you're going through, that you ask them or you tell them, you know what, just for today, I don't want to talk about the betrayal. I don't want to talk about the situation. I don't want to talk about it at all. And I'm not saying to bury your head in the sand indefinitely, but you can bury your head in the sand for a few hours and just take a vacation from the nasty chick voice, from how you're feeling, everything moving through you at warp speed. And just say, you know what? I want to take a vacation from it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to think about it. I just want to enjoy the day. I just want to enjoy the day as best as I possibly can. I have set the intention that I am going to put the betrayal. It's always going to be there. It's always going to be there. But I'm going to put it on the back burner for a couple of hours. And I'm going to enjoy the football game. I'm going to enjoy the food. I'm going to enjoy the company. I'm going to enjoy being by myself, whatever it is. But set the intention. And the intention could be, you know what? I want to step away from it all. I just want to step away from it all. It'll all be there the next day or the next few hours. But if you tell your mind and your heart, I need a break. I need a break for a couple of hours. Just leave me alone. Let me be. I want to enjoy this time frame. Set the intention. Okay. So those are my 3 suggestions for you for the holidays coming up. Is there anything that anyone has seen, heard, read that really resonated with you related to the holidays that you would like to share? You can do so either verbally or in the chat. Give you a moment so I can grab a drink. Oh, I'm so sorry, everybody. I don't know why the chat is sitting someplace else. Beautiful. All righty. Yes, get through self-reflection. I did it. I went on vacation for my last holiday. Beautiful. Oh, there's something so refreshing about it. Whether you take a vacation, a physical vacation where you go somewhere else, you take a staycation, or you just tell your mind and your body, I'm on vacation. I don't want to think about anything. I don't want to think about chores. I don't want to think about things I have to do. I don't want to think about the betrayal. I don't want to think about what he did or what she did. I need a reprieve. I need a reprieve. So for the next 20 minutes, because this does go to 9 o'clock, I can, change things up and do what you want. Get others on board, have a voice. Oh, I love it. Yes, yes, yes. Use your voice, because silence is twofold. Silence can be perceived as acceptance. And if you don't accept something, use your voice. The other thing is that silence is definitely a relationship killer. So if you are going through recovery in attempts to stay with your current partner, or you have a new partner that you're trying to develop a relationship with, silence is still a killer. It just is. You do need to use your voice. And as you go through betrayal recovery, you will learn to use your voice. You absolutely will, because you will gain the confidence to trust yourself. And that is glorious. And it is not overnight. I'm letting you know that. It's not a situation where you can go to the gym for 6 hours today and tomorrow you have a six-pack. It doesn't work like that. It's incremental process, step by step, brick by brick, to build up trust in yourself. You can't trust your partner until you can trust yourself. So everything that you are doing, you're working on yourself first. Yes, you might want to mend your relationship or separate your relationship amicably as best you can, whatever the situation might be. But what is left, whether you stay or you go, is you. And you need to love yourself and you need to trust yourself. So absolutely. So let's see. I actually don't know what to do with the holidays. My wife and I are going to New Orleans for Thanksgiving, but I've not been able to appropriately start the recovery process, and D-Day was July 18th. Okay. Hayes, do you mind if we explore this a little bit? Do you mind? Hayes? Sure. Beautiful. All right. I appreciate that. So it's still really raw. It absolutely is. I know July feels like it was eons ago. And when you go through betrayal, you have two things related to time. Time either speeds up, warp speed, or it drags really slowly. Your D-Day, July 18th, it's raw. It's right there. I really encourage you to set expectations. Know what the expectations are. Know what your expectations are. Know what your wife's expectations are. If they're not lined up, you're going to have a very difficult time. You just will. And if you're not ready, then communicate that. You know what? This still feels just a little, I want to take it slow. I want to slow things down. Or again, you can go with you know what? We're going to put the betrayal aside for today. We're going to enjoy New Orleans. We're going to get the intoxication back of falling in love again, if you so choose. I'm offering up suggestions. Whichever one lands, it's like spaghetti on the wall. Whichever one feels right to you is the one that you run with. It might be a situation where you say, you know what? We're going to put it aside for today, just for today, and enjoy ourselves. Let's see if we might be able to rekindle a little bit of the monumental thing we've lost. Because again, it's incremental steps. but you have to feel most comfortable. But if you are choking on your words, if you are not able to communicate, you're going to have a difficult time. I really suggest that you have those difficult conversations, because if it's hard now, it'll be easier later. So I'm going to repeat that. Hard now will be easier later. If you make it easy now, it's going to be harder later. Okay. Hard to rekindle when straying partner cannot have difficult conversations. I'm going to get to that in just a second. Let me finish with Hayes on this. Sooner the better, because it gets harder over time. Exactly. Exactly. And I know it's difficult conversations. I know they are. I would suggest that you use feeling statements. Feeling, I feel, I felt, I'm feeling. Because nobody can argue with how you feel, you felt, or you're feeling. Avoid words like always and never. You always do this and you never do that. Those are confrontational words. So try to avoid using them. Okay. The other word that you want to avoid is the word you. You is a confrontational word as well. So you want to try to avoid that. Okay. Hayes, I hope that was helpful for you. Someone does have the ability to argue, though. Yeah. Of course. This isn't easy. If it was easy, everybody could do it and we'd be like, oh, okay. No, this is hard work. It's absolutely hard work. But I tell you, there's beauty on the other side. There's absolute beauty on the other side. You will get to know yourself so much better, and you will be, I promise, having worked with clients for years now, years, there's beauty on the other side, and you can actually be better for the experience. You can be better for the experience. I know it's really hard to hear now, but know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and you come out of it. You do. Very much so. I want to go back to the question that we had about hard to rekindle when the straying partner cannot have difficult conversations. It's the same thing. It's easy now, harder later, or hard now, easy later. And the conversations need to be had. Otherwise, the conversations are going to get more difficult in front of a judge, in front of a mediator, as if you're married and separate. So the difficult conversations need to be had. I'd approach it delicately. Again, feeling statements, because they can't be argued. I feel, I felt, I'm feeling. And approach it in a way. And this is Betrayal Recovery 2.0. Hopefully you guys are ready for 2.0. Can I share that? Is everybody ready? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. So Betrayal Recovery 2.0. Sometimes, and this is difficult, I know it's difficult. Everything that we're talking about this evening, nothing is easy. It's not easy. This is hard work. It's absolutely hard work. Sometimes we need to be a caretaker to our partner's confidence. Whoa, hold on. Don't attack me for it. I know you're like, what? It's my confidence that's shot. I feel like crap. My self-esteem is in the toilet. And now you're telling me I need to be a caretaker to their confidence? Yes. Yes. In incremental steps, just little things, because those little things start to build. And once your partner has a little bit of confidence, they start to open up. If they're very tight-lipped and don't want to talk about it and stay away kind of thing, it's because they're afraid, because they have a tremendous amount of guilt, a tremendous amount of shame. And I'm sorry? and some fear built into there. So if you caretake their confidence ever so slightly, that you're not going to explode on them if they tell you something, it'll get better. It will. Incrementally, slowly, inch by inch. But eventually they will feel that safety and they will open up. Now, for me personally, I made so many mistakes. Oh. So after my husband told me those 3 words and I fell apart, what I failed to mention is that I raged on him. I am screaming at him in Central Park. Hundreds of people are seeing this because I raged. I flipped out. The fact that police were not called is an understatement. They say Karen kind of thing. Oh my God, I was Karen 100 times over. I completely lost my mind. Okay. And that caused him to shut down. He said nothing else. For 6 months, he couldn't talk to me because he thought my reaction was just going to be as equal, because from that moment on, every time I looked at him, I either raged or I was sobbing because I just couldn't comprehend what was going on. And then there were times where I was completely numb and I completely ignored him as if he was not there. Like I ghosted him right in front of me, type of thing. And the only time I spoke to him was when we were in therapy, because then I was raging at him in therapy because I wanted our therapist or our coach or our marriage counselor to side with me. Look what he did. Look, I'm a lunatic. He did this to me. Yeah. Yeah. And that was the biggest mistake that I did. Had I discovered calm in the App Store and just settled down and learned to respond rather than react, because we're still dealing with another human being. Yes, that human being destroyed us and pulled out our heart out of our chest, but it's still a human being that feels, that has emotion, that is going through something that caused them to do this. So I'm going to check the chat one more time. There is no right time for any conversation. Right time is right now. Exactly. Exactly. Very much. And continue to use those feeling statements because they can't be argued. Nobody can argue with how you feel. Not at all. It gives them a safe space. Yes. My cheating girlfriend is regretful and have appropriate attitude, but not interested in doing affair recovery work with me. This is disappointing. Should I just worry about my own recovery? Yes, to start. You cannot drag somebody else to therapy. You can't drag somebody else to coaching. You can't say, hey, you know what? I met this amazing woman online this evening. Yeah, she's got pink in her hair. She's very animated, but she knows her stuff. And I think you should talk to her. Oh God, no, absolutely not. Because you push that on somebody else and the resistance immediately starts. No. The best thing that you can do at this moment in time is work on you, so that as you recover, your girlfriend kind of sees what's going on. Hey, what's going on with you? Because you're speaking better. You are expressing yourself better. You are carrying yourself better. This is what my recovery looks like. And I'm looking forward to how your recovery is going to look on you. Because right now, she might be in a little bit of denial. And again, there's no harm in talking to anyone else. There's no harm in a few sessions just to get out some of that loose, that lingering stuff that might be there, because you'll probably need answers. I'm sure that you'd like answers. Have you gotten all your answers? Are you comfortable with all the answers? I'm just going to give a moment to type out a response if you don't want to get on screen. There's a difference between being shameful and remorseful. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Without a doubt. Ideally, we'd like them to be both. Yes, very much. That's why there's a difference between envy and jealousy. There's so many emotions that are so close to each other, but have little nuances. One of the best shows to watch about that, about the nuances of feelings, is something called Atlas of the Heart. Atlas of the Heart. I believe it's on Netflix. It's a documentary. It's based on Brene Brown's book, same title, Atlas of the Heart. And she breaks down all of the emotions that you have, and she puts words to them, because sometimes it's really difficult to put words to our emotions. Very much. Yes, Brene Brown. Excellent. Atlas of the Heart. Tessa, you mentioned that you will never get answers. I want you to contemplate, and I want you to think about how important those answers are for you. And again, since we're not working together over a period of time, I'm limited on how best to answer you, because I don't know whether you're staying or going, what you're working on, and so forth. So it's hard to ask that. Okay. Oh, my pleasure. I will resume this journey to be a healthier person mentally. I do believe objectively that my girlfriend is both shameful and remorseful. Thanks, everyone. Yeah. Yeah. I just want to take a few minutes just to close out. I want to make sure that everybody is good. I will stick around for a couple of extra minutes afterwards. If you need to speak with me individually, I'll be more than happy to chat with you for a few extra moments. Only with that, I do need you to be on screen. Really hard for me to chat with you one-on-one when I can't see you. So if that's something you're interested in and you would like to do, I have no problem whatsoever. I can give you a few minutes after this group session to be able to chat with you individually. This meetup platform is wonderful. It absolutely is. I will be doing something very special on Thanksgiving Day. I have opened up my schedule specifically for all of you on the meetup platform. We crossed over 200 members, and I know in most groups they're like, yippee! And I'm like, oh, no, there's 200 people that are just hurting, that have experienced betrayal and just, but with 200 members, I felt the need to open up my Thursday morning, next Thursday, Thanksgiving morning. I will be available for 45 minutes. You're more than welcome to jump in. There is a small nominal fee to come in for the day, just to pay for the service of the meetup platform. You're more than welcome to join if you would like. The invitations within the group as well. We will continue to do this on the second Monday. Yes, the second Monday of every single month, which means that we will be doing it in December, on December 11th. So we will be back here on December 11th. You are more than welcome to submit any questions beforehand. You're more than welcome to reach out to me in between if something's going on, and we can quickly chat. Otherwise, you can always book a session with me where you get me for a duration of time and we go over whatever it is you need to go over. Not a problem at all. If there's anything you need, by all means, reach out. Please let me know. I really, truly appreciate any kind of review that you give on the Meetup platform. It really helps so that other people know that this group is beneficial, that it's not a sales pitch the whole way through. I want to be referred to as a resource. I am not a sales pitch whatsoever. I'm here to provide guidance. I am so ridiculously grateful for all of my coaches, therapy, mentors, everyone else that has helped me through to the other side of betrayal. And all I want to do is give back. And that's why I volunteer my time to be able to do. The Meetup platform will ask for a donation if you feel inclined to. I'd appreciate it. What I do is I set up a fund so that I work pro bono for at least one client every couple of months. And that offsets the cost of that. If you'd like to contribute to that, would be wonderful. It's entirely your choice. I hope that this has been greatly beneficial to you, that you have discovered some wisdom within, and most importantly, that you do not feel alone. You are not alone in your struggles at all. And I wish you great success as you move through, and by all means, reach out. All righty, everyone. So I'm going to close it out for everyone else. And if you need to speak with me individually, by all means, stick around. All righty.